let's start this thing off right.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
It looks like a giant ape with a man's face.
All right, folks, Chasing the Truth is on the air on the Paranormal Radio app on the Dark Waters channel. Also, for the first time on the Sean G. Chasing the Truth YouTube channel. And I came up with this the last minute just saying, hey, I need to say thank you for the people, the fine folks that went out there and said, I want to subscribe to Chasing the Truth. So, folks, I appreciate everyone that's subscribed. I think I saw it was right under 400 right before all this crazy stuff just happened. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. But I want to give you thanks and do unscreened open lines. I know that doing that, you know, on a new channel, so to speak, with this low subscriber stuff is interesting. So can you hear me over there in chat? Tina M, Silent Rain, J.L. Powell, Happy, what's going on? Steve, Dragon ZW, GSXR, Pat, good morning. So can you hear me over there? I honestly do not know. Hopefully you can. Hold on a second. Let me see if it's popping up over here on the, yeah, it looks like it's all going out right. So fantastic. Please like, subscribe if you like it. Subscribe to it. Share it out to everybody, your dogs, your cats, your neighbors. The people meet on the middle of the streets, though, you know, toss a couple of these things out here. All right, the one-man band and friends. Friends. You don't have to, hey, if you want to call in, just say hi and make sure that I got all this stuff. But the same equipment I use over on the Dark Waters YouTube. So all I had to do was put the crazy stuff in here and put the key in and boom, there you go. For those fine folks out there, what I have been doing in the background, Aretha Jackson, hey, what's going on? GSXR Pat, you'll have to let me know, what does GSXR mean? But I'm going to hand out a couple of wrenches to some fine folks if they want them. If they don't, let me know. Let's see. Let me get oh, first off, I definitely want to, you know, give a couple of wrenches out. Definitely. I gave one out to Wes, my show producer, Thaddeus Cray in there. And if you don't want the wrench that I gave you, just let me know. And we'll go from there. Happy, I'm going to hand you one. Steve, I'm going to hand you one. So, and Terry, if you say hi in the chat over there in the YouTube, I'll give you one. Most certainly. I'd probably get hit in the head if I didn't, but there you go. But that would be a motorcycle from Suzuki. It's their sports model, GSXR Pat. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But the last live stream I did over on the Dark Waters YouTube, but I'm on the Dark Waters Paranormal Radio app as well. There was an alert that popped up in the chat, I think probably midway to last hour of the chat. But hold on just a second. I got this all carried out and on WLOS 13. There was a sighting on the Appalachian Trail near Bryson City, North Carolina. Cobb County Sheriff's Office down there, I think, is in North Carolina. Pretty sure. But it's pretty close to, I think where WLOS is in Knoxville, Nashville. But there were two people that one lost their life, and the other one literally just about lost both arms and bottom half of their leg from what was reported as a dog attack. And this was, put in the chat last Saturday night. Miss T, there you go. That's the person I wanted to give a wrench to. outside of anybody else in chat. So give that as a moderator. Okay, my love of my life, Miss T has the wrench, along with Dragon ZW and JL Pal. Happy out there. But, what's going to happen? I just want to give thanks. This is the stream that's, I wanted to say hi to all the people that hopped on board there. And, tell you a little bit of what's going on. One, I'm going to expand the channel a little bit. You know that Chasing the Truth is on iTunes. Chasing the Truth is on the Dark Waters radio channel over on the Paranormal Radio app. And coming soon, ChasingTheTruth.com is coming. It's in the works. I haven't got all the particulars down yet, but I'm telling you, folks, it's interesting to see how God really lives in us. When the chips are down and God just steps in and says, hey, I got you. Before and after every show, I say thanks to God and pray for, protection for everybody that participates in the show, listens to the show, no matter where I am. Before and after each show, I try to do that. And right before I got on, I called up Terry and I said, hey, we got to say a quick prayer, and we did. And I intend to say a quick prayer after that. But, Miss T, if your mama's listening, happy birthday, Mama. And I hope that you had a good one. And crazy as it is. But please like, share, and subscribe this out if you like it. Hit the thumbs up. If you love it, subscribe. And then tell your next door neighbor, your cousin that you hadn't talked to in a long time. And tell them about this show. Now, as I have been doing in the past, this is Open Lines and Unscreened. If you call in, 931-994-6917. Across the board, if you're on the Paranormal Radio app and you're listening to me right now, hopefully. Hold on just a second, make sure I got all this. Yep, I am live on the Dark Waters radio channel over there. If you are listening to me on the Paranormal Radio app, you're included. 931-994-6917. 931-994-6917. Just say howdy, or if you got a weird story to share, or who knows? Who knows? I am perfectly prepared for the jack wagon to call in and start mucking up and trying to do whatever online. If you want to call in and you want to try me out, I hate to tell you this, but I got total control over the audio. Got total control over the video and the YouTube, so I'm just like the amazing. I guess, semi-godlike powers when it comes to this radio show. So, if you're a jackwagon, you want to call in, call in. Just don't be surprised if you start sounding like something totally different than what you think you sound like. You know how it is. But I do want to hear from you. If you want to say hi, go for it. 931-994-6917. Might need to use mine. I think I broke something in the kitchen. What's going on, Steve? What you breaking in the kitchen there? Is everything going on right with you? Is your voice up to par? I'll tell you what I did right before I got onto this thing. Here we go. Hello, this is Chasing the Truth. Who do I have on board here?
What's going on, Sean? This is Chase.
Chase, man, my trucker at large. What's going on? Where you at now?
Not too much, man. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm back home getting some repairs done to the truck right now.
So what's going on with the truck? Is it just maintenance, or you actually got something?
Yeah, maintenance. And my air dryer. So where your air dryer filter that filters out all the water out of your air tanks. Something's going on with that, and I can't build a pressure past like 110, so trying to get that straightened out. Go down a hill, I'd hate to lock up.
Wow. Have you had any weird encounters on the road? Has somebody cut you off? Or I know that since you're a trucker, people don't understand how far a truck needs to brake before they stop. How many times do you see that a day?
Well, I got a good testimony to that about 3 weeks ago. I was oh, Lord. I was there around Lakeland, one of them toll roads, and I was in the far right-hand lane. And you know how at the end of those toll roads, a lot of times they'll have red lights. And so you'll have a whole section where everybody's kind of going the flow of traffic at about 30 miles an hour, and then everybody brakes on the all out of nowheres. So 3 car lengths up, lady just braked when we were still in flow of traffic. So the car behind her braked, then that car braked, and I tried to hit my brakes. I didn't even have time to lock them up, and I rammed into the back of that car. Barely hit them, but it was enough energy to bounce that car forward to hit the other car. And, so I got a ticket for careless driving. Never had an accident in my life.
Oh, my God. And you got a ticket because somebody just didn't realize. So there was no reason for the lady to slam her brakes on in front of you? Or
everybody was still kind of going with the flow. She just stopped. I don't know if she thought that they were braking, but so there was my truck and 2 other cars in front. Apparently that was a whole family that was together. Nobody was injured because I jumped out, made sure everybody was okay, helped push the car off the road. But afterwards, they basically all of them left the car I bumped into, left and went to the back of my truck. So I guess they had called the ambulance. Now, none of them was hurt. I checked them all. And then when I was asking all the kids when they were about, y'all okay, just, I was really, worried for them. And they all said we're okay. And then the mom came over and started cussing me up and down, told me I was just, and I understood. She just protected the kids. I felt bad. So I asked the officer, asked him, were they really all okay? He's like, yeah, they were just checking out, but they were all right. So now they claimed 2 total vehicles. And the vehicles weren't totaled, but claimed 2 total vehicles and 11 injuries, apparently, is what they claimed. So I'm got my lawyers. Yeah, I got my lawyers on it covering my end of stuff. But, yeah, trucks can't stop that fast, especially when they're loaded.
True enough. Have you heard any more weird cryptid tales last time you called last Saturday? You were talking about a 5-foot tall frog, I think. Wasn't that what?
Yeah, that's what the gentleman had described to me. I don't got any more stories, but I got my son with me, and he would like to say hey to everybody.
All right. Hi. Hey, what's your name, buddy?
Ace.
Ace.
Yep.
Wow, thanks for calling in, man. Yeah, your dad's been calling in from all over the country every once in a while, so thanks.
I know.
Yeah.
He told me.
Yeah, he's been telling some great stories. You got a good dad there, buddy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ace, you want to tell them why you don't go in the woods with me?
I don't want to run around those dang Bigfoot and Dogman.
Bigfoot and Dogman. Well, I could talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, including Bigfoot, Dogman, UFOs, ghosts, stuff that bumps in the night, stuff people just, wait until they get you one-on-one and start telling you some crazy stuff. So that's what I'm trying to get out. More or less like a fireside chat without the fire.
Yeah, he said, he used to go camping with me and everything, and now he's starting to find out about his dog. I can't get that boy to go out in the woods for nothing. He done turned into a dark waters. He don't want to go out in the woods no more.
Oh, you don't want to go out in the woods no more. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that dog, what they were reporting as a dog attack down in North Carolina, Bryson City, North Carolina? 2 people. One person got killed, and the other, one man and one female. The dude got killed, and the female almost had her arms tore off, both of them, and part of her leg was was hanging on the thread, what I heard. But I'll go over that here in a little bit.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I heard about it. It said she had so many injuries you couldn't even count them, man.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, they're reporting it as a quote-unquote dog attack on the Appalachian Trail. And,
I bet they are.
Yeah.
They should have stayed with the bear. They should have stayed with the bears theory.
True enough. Well, Chase, I appreciate it. Ace, thanks for calling in with your dad, buddy. All right. Well, keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard there, Chase.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You have good day, buddy.
I'll be online. I'll be doing the show tomorrow night as usual, so I just jumped on here to say thanks. And thanks for calling in, Chase. Appreciate you.
Please don't end the video.
All right.
I do have a...
All right.
All right. Talk to you later. All right. Hey, this is Chasing Truth. Who do I have on board, and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Sounds like you got a jabberbox in the background there.
Yeah, something like that.
So what's going on?
I wonder what your thoughts are. This isn't talked about very much. The 5 labors of Jericho.
The 5 labors. I'd have to study it on a little bit. That's a little bit more specific than the knowledge I can actually say I've got an opinion on.
Well, I mean, it's not talked about too much. An Ayatollah has to go through several challenges to face Maxwell. And soon he'll have to face the leader of the MDK. And he's from the Hate Club, the Eastern Bloc. He's gang affiliated, so I don't know what he's in for. It might be trouble.
Could be. Honestly, I couldn't really say anything about it. I don't know.
You might need assistance from a Spanish god. We don't know how this might play out. You don't know anything on the subject?
I know a little bit about it, but not enough to say I can say anything other than I don't know a whole lot about it.
Well, back in the Y2J era, this might not have been an issue, but, he's getting up there in age. And to face someone like Gage, it might be a bloody massacre.
Oh, okay.
And we don't even know what the next few weeks might hold. So I'm curious if you had any thoughts on what direction Maxwell might take this.
I honestly do not know enough about it to talk about it. Other than what I have shown in my near-death experience, that we are just beginning to see the strife that's about ready to happen.
Yeah, but what about the pizza cutter? Do you think that might come into play?
Again, I don't know enough about it, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate you calling in, though.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, man.
MDK.
MDK. All right. All righty. So, MDK. Anybody know about that in chat over there? I honestly have heard a little bit about MDK, and that's about it, but hard to say. Well, let's see. Let's give a shout out to some of the fine folks over there in chat on the, I was about ready to say Dark Waters. Dark Waters is usually what pops out of my mouth. But Christina H, hey, Miss T, my love. Hey, Dante Sharp, is that the way you pronounce it? Dante Sharp, welcome aboard. Silent Rain, hey, thank you for showing up every which way you get here. But let's see. Let me get there we go. Pop that off there so it's not so loud in your ears and not loud in my ears. So if anybody does call in, thank you, Chase and Peter from, I think, up in Northeast. Interesting to say the least. MDK. Let's look that up. But first, I want to get back to the story I was talking to Chase about. The dog attack that happened down in Bryson, just south of Bryson City or around Bryson City, North Carolina. WLOS 13 said there was a dog attack. At least 2 to 3 dogs attacked, according to what they speculate happened on the Appalachian Trail around Bryson City, North Carolina. Cock County Sheriffs said on April 1st. Why it was only just reported last weekend, I don't know. But said that there were 2 people on the street between Carnation Way and Jimtown Road. A male by the name of Tony and a lady by the name of Amber. Tony was found dead at the scene. Amber, I think, had to be airlifted, and no reports about that. Tony literally just about had his arm taken off, clothes ripped apart, and all this other stuff. On the lady, that I think she's still in good condition, just literally, tore up. So that being said, they're reporting this. East Tennessee. Cock County's East Tennessee? All right, well, there you go. Hold on just a second. I had that up, and I had to reboot my MacBook. Let me see if I can pop that up real quick in the chat and see what we're doing. But, yeah, the things that are coming down the road, folks, for Chasing the Truth. One is I'm going to give some love, much needed love, to this YouTube. Then I'm going to expand and start doing more interviews, hopefully. I've got a few interviews that I'm going to have to get lined up. And Wes, buddy, I appreciate you, buddy. You have given me such things out there. Let's see. Christine, no squirrels out there. What squirrels? Gene Mahaffey, welcome. Mom done killed. Mom done killed. All right. So the squirrels are loose in my house, and they're always loose in my house. I'm always changing my mind or changing my direction of thought. And I guess that might be the reason why I'm do this. Is my attention span can flip from one spot to the other. So, that being said, holy cow. And like I said, this is a thank you live stream. And also, dogmancams.com. Dogmancams.com. John was unable to go live tonight. I talked to him before I started to go live. Hey, Doran Thompson. Thank you for the donation you gave me over on the Cash App. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Doran. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Now, there was a while there for the first 2 years, well, 2.5, 3 years. How long have I been? Oh, wait a minute. I got another call here. Hold on just a second. And, hey, this is Chasing the Truth. Who do I have on board, and where are you from?
Hey, this is One Man Band.
One-man band. Oklahoma. So what's going over on Oklahoma?
Yeah. I mean, it's really not too much. I actually, it's funny. My dad just sent me a picture of, I have to email it to you maybe. I guess it was in McCurk County, by Broken Bow Lake. They got a squatch down here by the lake. I guess it looks like it's drinking some water.
Oh, really? Yeah, you'll have to send me that. It's Sean G at Chasing.
Pretty good pictures.
I was about ready to say Chasing the Truth. Gee whiz, I'm going to have to change the way I talk. It's Sean G at IamDarkWaters.com if you want to send it that way, or are we on Facebook friends?
I'll definitely send it to you.
Facebook friends or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not a Facebook guy. I guess you could say I'm leery of Facebook, but I'll definitely send it to you through an email.
All right, I appreciate it. Sean G at IamDarkWaters.com. It may change in the near future, depending on what I get accomplished with my new website. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, no. So I was on Vol's channel about probably 2 months ago, and I went back and listened to it, and I was like, man, I didn't tell any stories like I said I was going to. So I'm going to tell one story, and I'll get out your hair.
No, go ahead, man. That's what I'm on here. Just sharing the truth, buddy. That's what I'm doing.
So if you heard that live stream, that was about 2 months ago. I'm based out of Oklahoma. Dang, sharing the story it gives me chills and goosebumps. You know, like at the tips of your fingers cold. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
That feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I am I guess I used to be. I'm a retired hoe. I'll be honest with you. I'm a retired hoe.
A retired hoe. Okay.
I used to date around a lot, and one day I walked into Hooters and I had met this girl, really really cute. I guess you could say server. You know, full figured, pretty face. Really, I was like, man, she is this woman. I am going to meet this woman. So I ended up figuring out a way to sit in her section, and I got to know her. You know, went back a few times, and we ended up kind of hanging out one day. I had just gotten over being sick, and it was a stomach thing. I can't. It was like gastroenteritis, but it wasn't that serious. And so I just being able to eat things like ice cream and stuff like that. And she texted me one night. It was probably 8 or 9 o'clock. It was dark. And she was like, hey, what are you doing tonight? I'm like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. Hey, you want to, I think I kind of mentioned that I wanted to hang out. And so she's like, what are you doing tonight? And so she ended up coming over. And before she got there, she asked me, what's your favorite Brahms? Brahms is huge here in Oklahoma. Brahms milkshake.
Brahms.
I said, okay. I said, cookie dough shake. And she's like, okay, well, I'll be over there in about 10 minutes. She didn't live too far from me. And so she came over, and I just happened to have, and I guess this is like I think about it now. It's a small detail that I haven't really thought about until here recently. But there was a show on Netflix called The Order. It's about witches, werewolves, and vampires. I don't know if anyone's ever heard. I don't know if you've heard of that show.
Oh, I believe I have.
Yeah, and so it was on Netflix, and I had it on. It was just, I guess it just came out. This is 3 or 4 years ago, maybe at most 4, at least 2.5. And I'm sitting there watching it, and she's, oh, what do you? And she comes in, she hands me my milkshake, my cookie dough shake, and we're sitting there talking. She, I really like this show. Are you into stuff like this? I'm like, yeah, I really am. And I was like, and started telling her stories and different things that I went through, and I could tell in her eyes there was something that she knew, or she knew that I knew things, more than the normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first took a drink of that shake, I said, man, something's off with this shake. It just tastes like metal. It doesn't taste right. I just couldn't. I mean, I tried to choke it down because I'm trying to be nice. It's first time hanging out with this chick. I don't want to give a bad impression. And the shake just tasted like metal. And I was like, what is wrong with this thing? I didn't open it up. I didn't take a look. I just, because she's right there. I'm not going to go, be rude. So we hung out, and she ended up leaving my house at 3. We just watched this, and we literally binge watched this entire show, and then she left. And this is one thing too that I haven't really told this story to a lot of people. I thought I'd share it. I guess I'd kind of burst the bubble on this, but it makes me uncomfortable a little bit to tell a story because it's one of these things that you go through and you don't realize it till after the fact, and you start asking around.
All right.
So I started getting these feelings for like strong, and I'm not an emotional guy. There's very few things that make me emotional. Very few things. Family. I have a kid on the way. Things like that. Stuff like that really makes me emotional. But I'm not really a person that that is that way, that shares feelings like that about things I don't about a girl I just met. I'm just like totally like almost, I guess you could say, acting in love with this woman. And I had went to see her 3 and 4 times at Hooters, but she would never want to hang out again. And to me, it was like, I didn't see it then. But one night she goes, hey, what are you doing? I went over there. She said, hey, what are you doing? I get off at 1 o'clock. I got to go. I got to be somewhere. I'm meeting up with some people, and we're doing, some, I guess, she does some things, I guess. She didn't really kind of go into it. I was like, yeah, I don't really, that's kind of your thing. I don't want to, intrude. She said, okay, well, I'll invite you next time we meet. Okay, cool. So she starts telling me different things, and, I'm like, wow. I was like, she's like, oh, yeah, do you know I can make this levitate? And this is like a couple days later, and I was like, all right, we'll prove it. And she sent me a video of this little bowl or whatever coming off her table, and I could hear a faint. It was like a whisper in the video that she sent me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I just thought it was. I was like, this is kind of cool, but at the same time, I'm kind of like spooked out because I know. I mean, I have family. I've seen a lot of medicine. In Native American medicine, I am Native, and so I'm not as spooked out as a normal person would. So I think she took that as like, he's kind of cool with this. So she's like, all right, we're having a meeting. I get off at I can't remember what time she got off, but it's at 12 o'clock, and we're going to meet at this bar downtown. She's like, if you look it up, you won't be able to find it. And I looked it up, and I could not find this bar downtown. And so she ends up texting me at like 11:35, right before before it was supposed to happen. She's like, hey, yeah, I don't think I'm going to bring you to this meeting. And I'm like, I was like, okay. So I started asking her a question. I called her. I was like, all right, what's this meeting about? And she starts to describe this. She's like, well, tonight is a sacrifice night. And I'm like, what? Sacrifice night? What is? I'm like, what? What is this going on? Like, where was I about to go? I couldn't even believe it that she would say this is a sacrifice night. I said, so what do you all be sacrificing? She's like, it just depends. I said, depends on what? She's like, the level of power you want. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't really question her more about it, but she goes on and starts telling me that, I'm not going to say what city or town I'm in, but she said that there's people that you would know that are on TV and that are in the public light that are at these meetings. And she says, and she also, another detail I guess I kind of skipped over is she was like, I need you to be a little bit drunk. And I'm like, huh?
Okay.
I was like, okay. She was like, because what you're going to see, you're not going to see anywhere else. And I don't want you to freak out. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, she's like, you will see things that aren't of this realm. And I'm like, what? And it's like, I mean, thinking about it now, saying it out loud like this, because usually, I ponder it in my head. I just couldn't even, I couldn't grasp it at the time. I've been through a lot of things where medicine has been used and weird things like that. But when she said otherworldly things, I was like, okay. So she ends up canceling. It's like, okay, well, then she quit texting me for the night. So I don't, like I said, we got off the phone and she didn't text me more of that. And so as I was thinking about it, I was processing kind of what's going on, especially her talking about powerful people, being, the more greater the sacrifice, the more power you have, and stuff like that just kind of, I guess, just really messed with me, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to somebody who I have people that do practice that stuff. And I don't really mess with them that much, because I don't want to, make them mad, and the next thing you know, my life is hell, type thing. So I asked, I said, so I was talking to this girl, and she said that she was going to take me to this meeting. Oh, and by the way, the meeting was under a bridge, going outside of town, or on one of our major highways that we have here. So she was just, kind of telling me that you could have been her sacrifice. And I was like, what? She's like, the reason why she canceled is she was probably going to use you as her sacrifice so she could become more powerful. And I didn't really realize it. This is where I harkened back to the milkshake. And the person that I was talking to was saying, did she give you anything the first night you met? And to me, that I didn't really think about the milkshake until this person said that. And I said, yeah, but I didn't drink very much of it. She said, they said, what did it taste like? I said, metal. She said she was doing some type of blood ritual to you, making you infatuated and to do anything that she says you will do. She said, if it tasted like blood, that's what it is. And I didn't really drink very much of it. So she said it didn't really work. And I think the girl knew that it didn't work. And so that's why she canceled on you. And we kind of quit talking after that. I stopped, having those really strong emotions for her. And like, and I just, have kind of forgot about it, in a sense. But I was listening to John Bell's show was it Sancho on Dog Man Cams? And Sancho was talking about the blood aspect of, different things with powerful people. And this story just hit me like a sack of bricks. I mean, I got goosebumps and I'm kind of, it's hard to put it in perspective. After I stopped messing with that girl, I thought I had a rat problem in this house that I was living in. And my dogs would kind of, be uncomfortable. So one night I let my dogs out, but they would not. They went right to their crate. They would not go in the living room when it got nighttime and we were going to bed. Mm-hmm. I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, what's going on? Then one night I'm sitting here and I'm not here now, but I was sitting there and in this old chair I had, and I heard this scream within the wall. It didn't sound human. It sounded like it was like a banshee scream. It was and I was like, and it was right behind me in the wall. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And this is, like I said, this is right after that. And then I was like, well, okay, I got rats. This is an older house. I have rats. So I called an exterminator and I said, hey man, I think I got rats in my walls. He's like, well, let me go ahead. And so he crawled under there and he said, yeah, I see a little bit, but not really a lot. And so the nights, so he put traps and all different types of things underneath the house. And we only caught one rat, and it was a big rat, but it was a big dude. My dogs caught it. The guy did the catcher, the exterminator didn't even catch it. My dogs caught it because it was going underneath it was like kind of by the door, and they caught it. And this is outside of the house, kind of where that opening is. But I would still hear this like little, it sounded like little feet. I was sitting there one night, I was laying in bed, something told me to wake up. And I do have a little bit of sensitivity to things. Like I can sense people's energies and things like that. I know, I have that ability. I don't know how to explain it. I just think I have been through a lot of life experiences, I guess. And I just know when body language and when people are going to screw me over. And I sat there, I woke up and I could hear those it was like little rat. It sounded like rats, but it was like, and it stopped. And then it would, so then the exterminator, I kept calling the guy out there, and this is hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm just feel like I'm throwing away because this guy can't catch it. Supposedly the best exterminator for rats in the whole town, and I'm like, this guy can't catch these rats. And so for a long time I would hear that, and my dogs wouldn't really mess with it. Mm-hmm. Like they would go in their room with their doors open, and it was just a really weird time. One of the last things that I dealt with was, and then I moved out. I moved out of that house 2 months later. I was gone. I'm like, no, this is not. I'm not doing this anymore. Like I just left. But yeah, it sounded like I felt like something was, like it was like trying to make its way into my room. Like I could hear it because it was like I had a short hallway and I had, it has 3 rooms and it's like a little hall and then it's the 3 rooms. And it kept getting closer and closer. At first I'd hear it in the kitchen. Then at first I'd hear it in the living room, like in the far ends of the living room. and I'd hear it kind of by my couch, and it just kept making its way closer. And this is every night. I ended up leaving. I was like, man, I got to get out of here. But I was talking to somebody who knows those things, and she said that that's probably residual effects of that magic that she put on you.
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah.
Got a question for you. What did you do once you figured out that, hey, this gal was putting a spell on you? Did you go to anybody to help you out? Did you pray or anything of that nature?
I'm not really a prayer. I'm more of a talker. I guess I don't really call it God, or I'm more of like a higher power.
Okay.
I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, I'm talking to the higher power. I always say, higher power, what's going on? Like, there's something off, I'd ask you to, watch over my family, watch over me, watch over my dogs, watch over the people I care about, things like that. I mean, and I would do that quite often, but no, I didn't really do, I think that's the reason why, maybe it kind of, I don't know, didn't work. I didn't really do a lot of praying. I did, more of like a conversation type.
Mm. Wow. So was this a gal that tried to put a spell on you? Was she good looking, or before or after the milkshake incident, did she become more attractive to you, or can you remember that?
She had I'll say she had a really good front end, face, she was built. She had a nice body. But, I mean, like I said, I just was like, man, I was like, man, that's kind of I'm going to talk to her. Not really thinking nothing, because I'm like, I'm already, doing my own other thing elsewhere too. So it's like, add this to the roster, nothing crazy. But yeah, she came over after that, and it was like a total infatuation. Like, I could catch myself waiting for her text messages. And I sat there and, I had a little bit of awareness. I'm like, something's off, man. Like, it just wasn't, it was weird. It was just really, really weird. It was just especially after that milkshake and, the different things that were kind of going on, thinking I had rats, but really I only had one, but I don't know what it was running around in the living room. I mean, my dogs are, they will attack anything less than 10 pounds. They love squirrels. They love rats. They love rabbits. They love all that. They'll chase it to the end of the earth. But they would not go in that living room after I left the living room. It was the weirdest thing, because usually they kind of roam around, or they'll go lay on my couch or in my chair. But it was weird. It was really weird.
Oh, wow. I think my gut tells me that this is a true story. I don't have, I would probably have just spit the milkshake out if it was me and say, what the hell is this? And then, I can see being mesmerized, but wow, that is an interesting story for sure. And I'm glad you got out of it all right.
Yeah, man, I was worried about that for a while, because I had the worst luck. Things were going wrong that, like, I was like, what is going on with my life right now? Like, am I moving? I was kind of, partying and doing that thing, but I was kind of keeping it under control, only doing it on certain nights, or knowing when I can and cannot, meeting my obligations at work. And it's like, but like, it was little things that would go wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, it wouldn't be some major disaster. Like, it was weird. And with the milkshake thing, I only really took like 2 or 3 drinks at it, because I just was like, because I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to, she brought this over here in good faith, me, thinking people, at the time kind of hadn't, like, oh, she was just being really sweet to me, I took maybe 2 or 3 drinks. It wasn't like I'd go, it just was disgusting. It was, I was like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't drink it. It just didn't taste. It just tasted awful.
Oh, wow. That is, wow, that is an interesting story. I didn't expect to have that popped in my lap, especially the first time I did that. That is a cool story. I hate that it happened to you, and I'm glad you got out of it okay. And God bless you, and you don't have to get to any more like that. Hope that your luck has changed for the better.
No, I mean, I do, being older now, I can really start to tell things when things are kind of off or someone is just off. I mean, that whole thing with that magic, man. Every time I hear a story, Dark Waters does one, or like if someone that, you know, like I have family members who have told stories of medicine where people have had medicine on them and they had to go to great lengths to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. I always get the big, like it's in my neck. I start feeling it in my neck, and it's like right now I can feel it going up my back up to my neck, like a nerve. Because it's just like, you know, anything could have happened. I always say hypothetical, you know. What if she did take me to that meeting? What would have happened? You know, I mean, I was living by myself with my 2 dogs, you know. I'm a couple hours away from my family, you know, miles away from my family. You know,
So how did you meet this gal? Did you just bump into her and say, hey, I'd like to meet her? Or did you meet her on a social? Hooters, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of, the Hooter. Yeah, I met her at Hooters. I sat in her section. I was like, because I saw her when I walked in. I said, man, she's pretty good looking. I was like, let's see if I can, you know, because like I'm a surveyor, so I'm looking at all the servers. I'm like, okay, I don't really like that. Okay, let's do that. All right, and then kind of, you know, make my way into their section, you know, type of thing. And so it was like a chance meeting. It wasn't really like it was planned or anything, but.
Well, you kind of wonder now that after you went through this whole long story about, you know, this metallic taste in the milkshake that she gave you, and wonder if she had pre-planned, hey, I'm going to find somebody today to, you know, do a ritual with. You know, blood ritual, that is one of the worst things that you can get yourself into.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I was thinking about, especially when I heard, especially when it comes to, like, when I was listening to John Bell with Sancho, but like, and I guess the reason why I came on, you know, I'm apprehensive when it comes to talking about that, especially because it was such a not a good time in my life. But I guess it's always good to kind of get it out. I've literally probably only told 5 people this story, and it was all like family, mom and dad, you know, best friend, you know, things like that. And it's not something I really like to talk about, but I just, you know, I was thinking when I saw you in Dark Waters chat, or I was like, man, I got to get that story out, man, because there could be somebody that's going through, you know, right now in the stream or whatever, you know, that's dealing with some type of stuff like that, and, you know, to be aware.
Now, she was a waitress, right? She was a Hooters waitress?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir.
Oh, man. She still works there, or have you bumped into this gal since then?
I haven't seen her since, man.
Dang. Holy cow.
Yeah, I haven't. You know, I have seen her, like, you know, it's just, and that's another reason why I didn't really want to tell us, because I'd always be afraid if someone, you know, heard it and be like, oh yeah, he's talking about you, and then now it's like, oh God, but yeah, I'm just not trying to get that smoke, man. Oh gosh, but yeah, I mean, and that's when I was on Dark's channel, I was like, man, I was like, man, I had realized when I went back and listened to it, I said, man, I told no stories on there. I got all these stories that I have from just, I mean, myself and family members, like close family members who I believe, you know, 100%, with just different things that just went on, especially when it comes to medicine and I guess you could say magic, I guess, or some type of, you know, arts like that. And whenever I, like, people that know that stuff, you can tell that, like, I mean, now I can kind of see it. I'm like, all right, so, you know, there could be something going on here because everything's going their way, you know, like everything is on the up and up, but yeah.
Yeah, that is just, that's an amazing story, and I'm glad you got out with alive. One. So when she was texting you about this quote unquote meeting, and no, I'm not going to take you there or whatever, did you have a funny I can't go there kind of sensation, or something in the back of your mind was, what the hell's going on here? I can't do this. Or how was you reacting to it? When she texted me, she said, hey, yeah, well, she mentioned it she mentioned originally, you know, at the, when we were at Hooters.
She said, hey, I get off at, I can't remember what time it was. I think it was 11 or 10:30 or whatever it was. And then I kind of told her, because I kind of was apprehensive, because, it's like, I don't want to intrude on, someone, a meeting between friends, that's just, I don't like doing that. I'm not that, I'm not how I say that, like a force my way into, people's lives type thing. And so I was like, well, if that's your thing. She's like, oh no, we're meeting down at this bar. So she's like, well, I'll just invite you next time. And then that was the next following weekend when that happened. All
right. Wow. What's your name again, so I can remember to write this down and say, wow, that was a story and a half.
You can, my name on YouTube is, the One Man Band.
One Man Band. All right. Yeah. Cool, man. Appreciate you, sharing that story for sure. One Man Band.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah. And I'll come on and I got another story about, I'll tell it later on, but, or at another time, but I have a story about, I just lost it, but it's, I started thinking about it. I was like, man, I'll remember. I got all types of stories. I'll just drop in time to time and share one or two of them.
All right. Well, anytime you want to share, just give me a call wherever I'm live. That'd be great.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right.
Bye, Sean.
Appreciate it. One Man Band, folks. That's a crazy story for sure. So anyway, let's. Okay, folks. Well, let's see. How long have I been on this stream? Hold on just a second. I thought I was going to just be a really short, maybe a 30-minute stream, but now it looks like I'm a full hour into it. Honestly, the calls just keep coming in, and I appreciate everyone that has called in. Wow. Chase to One Man Band. Holy cow. Man, all I can tell you is God works wonders. God does come across in some weird, fascinating ways that does, a lot of times don't make no sense to me. And I'm sure you probably have the same anecdotal stories from your point of view as well. But wow, folks. But I just wanted to hop on here and just tell you, hey, thanks for, subscribing. There's more, way more to come. I'm going to be doing some expansion to this one particular channel, Sean G. Chasing the Truth. We're working on in the background a website, which, that's not up and ready, so I'm not going to really do anything other than just say, hey, it's in the works. iTunes, Chasing the Truth with Sean G. is on iTunes, and we're currently upgrading it every day, just about it. Thaddeus Cray Wes is helping me out with that, and thank you again, Wes, for everything that you do for me, and it is much appreciated. Definitely give a shout out to Thaddeus Cray Wes over there in the chat. And again, DW, thank you, sir, for everything that you've ever done for me. I wouldn't be here without you. I definitely wouldn't be here without you, because it took you 3 tries to get me on the air the first time. And thank God I did that. That was an interesting way to go. I learned a lot along the way. And I'm actually kind of disappointed that I didn't get any jackwagons calling in. Who knows? Last time I had when I first opened up this channel. If you look back, I actually still have it up. But, yeah, 393 subs. That's great. Fantastic. When I saw it earlier, I think it was like 380. If Terry's still in the chat, Miss T, I think it's 380 earlier, and I just had mentioned I haven't looked at it in a while. But if you are listening to this chat, if you're listening to over on the Paranormal Radio app, tomorrow night I will be back on the DW's channel, and I'm going to do open lines. It seems like that is the thing to do. Nobody else is doing it, to my knowledge. Unscreened open lines. I see a lot of people say, yeah, let's bring you on. Here's a link. Jump on. And they're kind of, vetting and throwing this out and kind of screening prior to getting online. There's nobody between you calling in to me and me hitting that answer the phone button on my computer. If you're calling in, like the last 3 or 4 callers, which I am absolutely surprised. Surprised, is that a word? It is now. Surprised that I had so much interaction tonight. That is crazy. She just doesn't have her hands free. Well, what in the world you got in your hands besides your phone and probably a hammer or some sort of shotgun blast to the face implementation? So, I don't know. DW's on a road trip. Oh, I heard that he was... Hey, Joe, what's going on, man? Joe is in the house. Wow, crazy. But, again, oh, wait a minute, I got a caller. I need to... Let's see, the top one. Hey, this is Chasing the Truth. Who do I have on board and where you from?
Hey, this is Robbie.
Hey, Rodney, what's going on? I hope I got that right. Rodney?
Well, Robbie.
Robbie, okay, I'm sorry. Robbie. What's going on, Robbie?
Well, I got a few things I want to tell you about.
Okay, Robbie, go right ahead.
Thing, last week, yeah, you and somebody were talking about snakes. Do you remember that?
I've had conversation about snakes, yeah. I don't remember the specific thing you're calling about. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't either. But anyway, had something about the snake was you was in the water and the snake was around you or something. But anyway, when I was about 5, 6 years old, Daddy took us next door to the neighbors to the storm house. Had some bad weather coming in. And I got down in there. It's one of them old, concrete block ones where the water just runs in through the walls. And I'm sitting on a little bench, and I felt something on my leg. So I picked my legs up, and there's a water moccasin fell off my legs. I said, oh, hell no, and I left.
Now, I've had a run-in or two on a water moccasin at Georgia Fork here in southwest Virginia. It's a big old river system down there. And that scared the living crap out of me, without a doubt.
Well, the water was up past my knees in that thing. Mm-hmm. No older than I was. Well, I got up to the top of the stairs, and all the men were up there watching the sky.
Yep.
And Daddy told me, he said, get back down in that storm house, and he pointed and said, there's a tornado right there. I looked up and looked at him. I said, hell no.
All right.
There's a snake in there.
Okay.
Now, you got to understand, my daddy's one of these old Christian people.
Oh, yeah. I remember as a little kid, probably knee-high to a grasshopper, in a little town called Wise, Virginia. And I remember being outside a place that, was reclaimed by bulldozers, decades ago. And these Christian ladies come out with hoes and shovels, and there was a snake loose on the dirt road. And you should have seen them just hacking the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, they didn't like it.
Everybody else run back down the storm house. There was a tornado coming. It was a big one.
Yeah.
And I stood at the top of the stairs and watched it go over me. I fight with a tornado before I will a snake. Any day.
Well, yeah. If you get in striking distance of a snake and you're aware of where the snake is, you got a fighting chance. That's the one thing that my daddy said. Hey, if you see a rattlesnake, you back away and make sure there's nothing behind you and keep on going.
By 7 years old, I was killing them.
Oh, yeah.
We had a pond behind the house, and they always had water moccasins and cottonmouths and everything else. And, I'd play out there around it, and I'd walk up on one, reach there and grab a stick and kill it. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. That's what I seen the adults do, so that's what I did.
Yeah, well, there you go. That was one of my earliest memories that you just brought up. There's a bunch of little ladies from church. I think it was probably on a Sunday when they started hacking away at it might have been a rattlesnake or a black snake or something. I have no clue. All I remember is being shooed up the dirt road from my papa's house and you just heard them yelling and calling out the name of Jesus Christ and just whacking and whomping and carrying on. Yeah.
Well, now, another funny thing, and this wasn't planned, but we had chicken. And these snakes would come in and try to steal the eggs.
Okay.
And you watch a bunch of chickens attack a snake. That's funny.
I've seen dogs grab hold of snakes. I honestly, I know that they do attack snakes and do it very well, but I don't believe I've ever seen one do that.
There'll be 8 or 9 of them just pounce on that thing and just peck it to death. And it don't know which one to bite, so it just lays there.
Huh. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But anyway, now, to the paranormal.
All right.
When I was 12 years old, I spent the night with a friend of mine. Now, I lived way out in the boondocks. He lived, it was a little bitty town, about 700-800 people. But it was Halloween. So I spent the night with him so we could go trick-or-treating, you know. And after that was over, we were going to spend the night in his treehouse. Well, we told his parents anyway. So after they went to bed, we grabbed our toilet paper and snuck out. And we rolled a bunch of houses.
Uh-huh.
And then we rolled the police station. Yeah, the police station. And after we got done, run out of toilet paper and all that, we were on our way home, and we happened to walk by the town's haunted house. Now, this was about, 1981, 82. The house had been empty for about 50 years. It was this great big huge Victorian-looking thing, although it was built before then, and it was over 100 years old. Big 3-story columns out front, big double, front doors, the whole bit. Only two families had ever lived in it. And neither one of them made it over a month.
Oh, okay.
And they both left in the middle of the night and left all their belongings in the house. Refused to go back.
Now, I've heard more than one story, more than a couple of stories like that, that something happens in the middle of the night and they leave everything other than what they can grab and never return.
Right. That's about what they did. And the house had sat there for 50 years, nobody living in it. Me and him get this right idea, we're going to go exploring. Because it's still early in the night, 1, 2 o'clock maybe. Well, it was 2. I know that because I looked at my watch as we walked in the building. But as soon as we got the door open and stepped inside, we heard a dog growling. I said, well, we got a stray dog in here. Just be careful, I'm sure he's scared to death. So we went in, we looked. To the left was, I call it the dining room because it was connected to the kitchen. To the right, there was like a study. And in front, there was a little hallway that went back to the kitchen with a big staircase that went up, to the second floor. So we made our rounds downstairs, heard the dog growling the whole time. Never could find it, but it stayed pretty much right behind us the whole time. We got done, we started upstairs, and the dog was growling when we started up the steps. We got to the top of the steps, and the dog had beat us to the top.
Oh,
I don't know, 12 years old, we didn't think nothing about it.
Yep.
So we stepped onto the landing there, and when we did, we had a bunch of bats, this little insect bat, fly down, and just they flew around our head a little bit, and then they flew off. That kind of freaked us out.
Oh, yeah.
But we kept going. We kept going. And we made our rounds upstairs, and there was still clothes hanging in the closet, still furniture in the house, you know. And it was just creepy, you know, which that's what we was after. But we got done on the second floor. We started going up to the third floor. And again, the growling beat us to the third floor. There wasn't but 2 bedrooms up there. And we looked in one of them, and the roof had caved in. You could see outside. And of course, everything was rained on, wet, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So we stepped off in that room, and had a bunch of crows fly out from somewhere in there. I don't even know where they came from. They buzzed their heads a couple of times and left. We're really starting to freak out at this point.
Right.
But we go ahead and we go into the bedroom. Still got that growling behind us. So we get done. It's like, okay, well, we've seen everything. Let's go. We started downstairs. The growling beat us to the bottom. I'm like, okay. And this wasn't no ordinary growl. This was, I mean, it made your insides jiggle. So we start out the door, and right as we kind of opened the door to step out, which, I mean, we kind of had to force it open because it was swelled in the dirt and everything, you know, there was 2 firemen ran in past us with a water hose, you know. I had to step out of the way because they acted like they didn't even see me. So we went ahead and stepped outside, and something to my right caught my attention. And I turned and looked, and the outside of the house was on fire. And it actually burned a hole in that wall like there, but to the right of the door, big enough for a man to walk through it. I said, whoa, wait a minute, that ain't right. I stepped back inside and looked in that room, which is the dining room. There was no fire. There was no hole. It was perfect. Stepped back outside. There it was. I said, okay, now there's cop cars out there. There's fire trucks out there. And they got a security line set up. And we walked out across the yard and had to dodge a couple of people because they acted like they didn't see us. Walked behind the cop car that was blocking the road. As soon as we stepped out from behind the car to the side of it, cop looked down and said, what are y'all boys doing out? I said, okay. He looked at his watch and said, it is 2 o'clock. Now, it was 2 o'clock when we walked in that thing. So we headed home. And we got about halfway there, and my friend, we talked about it just a little bit. And he said, all of a sudden he said, what are you talking about? I don't remember doing that. Now, I don't know if he was pretending or if he'd actually forgot. I don't know. But he never did admit to knowing about it.
That is strange.
Anyway, it gets better. About a month later, I spend the night with him again. We go out doing our thing during the middle of the night. And we decide to head home. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. And we done got tired, so we decided just to cut through the cemetery here and save ourselves a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles. And, you know, that much time. So we're walking along, and I'm getting creeped out. And I mean, something just ain't right, but, you know, we just kept walking. All of a sudden, we heard a twig snap behind us. We both turned and looked, and there ain't nothing behind us but 2 red eyes. That's it. No body. No head. Just 2 red eyes. And then it started growling.
2
I
red
knew
eyes.
that growl immediately.
And what
That
you
was
think?
the same growl from that house.
Okay. Can you kind of mimic that growl? What did it sound like? Or
Oh, no. It was a deep, deep.
so
I saw a guy on YouTube the other day.
Okay.
He's got the Guinness Book of World Records about having the deepest male voice.
okay. Well,
And he said to explain his voice, you take a piano and you set a piano next to it. And he could hit that bottom note on the second piano. His voice is so low, only elephants can hear it. Unless you record it and play it back to the speakers. But if you ever heard a good deep bass singer and it's like you could feel the vibration,
oh yeah.
Your whole insides just start turning to jelly. It just,
Well, you're
Well,
talking about
we-
that infrasound stuff.
Yeah. It was just this horrible, deep, scary as hell. But it was the growl from the house. So we looked at each other and we take off running. And at one point I turned and looked behind me, and now there's two sets of eyes chasing us.
Both sets are red.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were like glowing. It wasn't just reflection. It was like glowing. And so we get to the edge of the cemetery, and we kind of jump over the little stone wall that's around the cemetery. It's about 4 foot high. Usually we had to climb it, but that night we just jumped it. And as soon as we got over, I turned around and bent over trying to catch my breath, and this first one come up and jumped the wall too. The only problem was when he started to jump that wall, he caught on fire from the inside. And I can't hardly explain that, but his insides were burning. And you could then see his body. Imagine a cross between a Great Dane and a Rottweiler. That's about what he looked like, with maybe a wolf snout. But he come over that wall, and like I said, he started burning. And when he touched the ground, he just poof exploded.
Mm-hmm.
Shards of light went everywhere. There was nothing.
He just disintegrated there.
Before he got to the
What?
wall.
He just disintegrated there in that poof of light.
Yeah,
and-
just disintegrated. Just poof. Just blew up.
wow.
And I look back at it, okay, there was something about that wall that was keeping them things in the cemetery. And when he went over it, that was it. And I tell people this story, and most of the time what I hear is, you're lying. And I'm like, I wish I was.
I have a tendency to believe you, brother.
Yeah, I wish I was. But after that, I would go somewhere and go in a building, a house, or whatever, and I'd get this real tingly feeling all over. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And sometimes it was a little different tingle. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Well, this went on until from the time I was 12 till I was 16. And my friend group went over to this girl's house. I'd never been there before. And I'm sitting there on the couch, we're sitting and watching movies. And I looked up and I said, Stephanie, is your house haunted? And her mama come running in the room trying to, cover things up, And she's like, why would you say that? Huh? Why would you say that? And I said, because I'm sitting here looking at a ghost.
So are you of the woo-woo type, or can you see people's auras, or do you just encounter ghosts?
No. Well, that would take a little more explaining, and I'm not going to take it the time. I know you got other people waiting. I see spirits.
Okay.
I talk to spirits. Not human spirits. The other kind of spirits. And there's good spirits and there's bad spirits. And then there's the demons and the angels. But I spent several years around here, which is just a very rural area, so there's not really that many people. There's probably, 60, 70,000 now. I think there's like 30,000 then. But just about once a week, I had to go to somebody's house that I had never met before and get rid of a bad spirit or a demon or something. I even got rid of a demon out of a person one time. And it's not like you see in the movies. But I can hear them. I can talk to them. For years, doctors told me I had tinnitus. Because I kept saying, I hear things. It's completely quiet. And it sounds like somebody's talking. No, you just got tinnitus. That's all. Your ears are ringing. No. That was me hearing the spirits before I knew what I was doing. And I finally figured out one time that we had a satanic church in town. And no offense to anybody there, but this group kept trying to summon demons. They had no idea what they were doing. I mean, no clue. They were lucky that they succeeded, But when they did succeed, that left me to clean up the mess. And I finally managed to run them out of town. And after that, it got quiet around here.
All right.
In a way, I miss it. In a way, I don't. But
the quieter to me, the better. Especially, I don't cotton to any kind of things waking me up in the middle of the night that's not blood kin to me. Waking up in the middle of the night,
exactly.
hearing somebody holler your name out, or seeing crap on the end of your bed or the side of your bed, and you're like, well, all right, why are you there?
And see, even as young as 5, 6 years old, I would hear people that weren't there calling my name. Mama told me it was my imagination. I look back now, I'm like, well, I doubt that.
Yeah, after hindsight's always 20/20.
But everything I did, as far as any of that goes, well, it's like I always said when I went in the house. I have no power. I can't do nothing.
Right.
Except for deliver a message to you. And that is, Jesus Christ commands you to leave and never come back. That's all I could do was deliver the message.
Well, that's a good message, brother. No problem with that one at all.
No, and I had now, the first house that I specifically went to rid it of a demon or spirit, actually what it was, after I got the spirit gone, I could still feel something. But I didn't know what it was. It wasn't my normal. So I send everybody outside. And I turned around, 20 seconds is what it took me. And there's a guy sitting in a chair that wasn't there 20 seconds ago. And so I'm like, who the fuck are you? And where the hell did you come from?
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, you can call me John because you couldn't pronounce my name. I said, try me. He said, I'm an angel. I said, yeah, right. And I'm the Queen of England. So he stands up and wings come out of his back. They're about 4 foot long each. I said, okay, you're an angel. I'm sitting down and shutting up. It's time for pancakes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Have we talked before,
And-
Robbie? I believe I heard.
We did one
Okay.
time. But
Alright.
yeah, and I may have told you that the last time, but I was like, yep, I'm sitting down and shutting up.
Yeah, I've heard that last story, but I was like, yeah, I know this voice. I've talked to you before on other live open lines before. So
Yeah, and what is it? I'm a friend of Thad's too.
friend of who? I'm sorry. One more time.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. Oh, okay. Thaddeus Cray. Yeah. Oh, yes. He's a good one. He's a good one. And good people right
Yes,
there.
he is. So, he's the one that got me hooked on you.
Well, that's
I don't
cool.
always
I
have time
appreciate.
to
I always
tune in,
appreciate it.
But, I do what I can.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad I picked you out of the. I was actually winding down to end this live stream, and I looked up and I got 3 people calling me at the same time. And I said, "Well, I'll just take the top caller," and it happened to be you, Robbie. And I appreciate you calling.
I'm
in.
glad. I'll get back with you later.
All right. I'm going to be live tomorrow night on the. I'm going to be live tomorrow night on the Dark Waters channel over on the other YouTube channel I usually haunt on Saturdays, but I'll be over there live
Okay.
too.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not sure, but if not, I'll hit you next week maybe.
All right, brother. That sounds great. Anytime you want to pop by.
Most of my stories, that's really all my good ones. Most of them, well, to me, they're pretty mundane. Most people will freak out about it, but, I did it so much it was, oh well, another night.
Oh yeah, true enough. Well, if you experience it day in and day out, the mundane to you would probably scare the living shit out of other people.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I don't use the word exorcism or anything like that because I did to start with, just because, that's what most people say. But I got to a house one night, and of course it was a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, but the word exorcism had been used, and they were expecting a priest.
Right.
And I'm not a priest. I'm nowhere near that. And so they got a little upset to start with, and so I said, okay, never use that term again. Just to keep, people getting confused. But, yeah, when I would go into a house, it's not like you see on the movies. It doesn't take, 4 days to get a spirit out of a house. It don't take 4 days to get a demon out of a house. A spirit I can usually do in about 30, 45 seconds. A demon might take 2 to 3 minutes. But in the end, they can't fight the Word of God.
Oh, wow.
So, look at your Bible.
No.
Look how many times that it talks about, the Jesus and the apostles banishing demons. Most of the time, You know, the apostles walked up, and I mean, Jesus too, but the apostles, which weren't the Son of God, and the demons were like, we know you. You're here to torture us. You know, and they just said, you know, leave. And that was it.
True enough. True enough.
I mean, you know, and I try not to get into that too much because I don't want to offend the religions that believe that you have to do, you know, a 72-hour ritual or do it in Latin or anything like that, because that's not my intent. But you don't have to do all that. You know, if you walk in there with the power of God and you say, you know, leave, it has to leave. That's simple. So.
All right, Robbie. Well, Robbie, I appreciate you calling in and telling those stories. I do remember the last one where you saw this angel and it stood up and spread its wings and you shut up. I remember that one.
That one kind of blew my mind.
Oh, yeah. Robbie, I appreciate you, brother. You take care, and I'll be live tomorrow night over on the Dark Waters channel.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you. All right. There you go. That was an interesting call for sure. No doubt about it. There he goes. I was sitting there winding down and saying, hey, I'm going to be live tomorrow night, same time, same back channel over on the Dark Waters YouTube channel. And over on the Paranormal Radio app, UPRN 107.7 FM, as I usually am, every Saturday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. I start at 7, and it is way longer than I intended. I didn't expect people to call in. That's crazy as it is, and I appreciate every one of you. And Chase, I appreciate you if you do listen to the last little bit of this. I know you just took off. Thank you for the donation there, Chase. Dragon ZW. Thaddeus Cray, the one-man band. Hey, man, appreciate you calling in. Lakea. Hey, what's up with your beloved? Is he still tearing engines out, or is he recuperating from the Jellystone adventure of drowning worms in a lake? But, wow. Michelle says, no, it was Cook County near Knoxville, Tennessee, was that so-called dog attack for that man and woman. Well, that actually happened on April 1st. It was announced last weekend, but I don't know why it took so long for them to talk about that. Dog attack. WLOS, I believe, was the thing, the actual news station. Hold on just a second. Let me pull my notes up here. That I actually looked at it, and I had it all up here and ready to go, and then my computer decided, or my MacBook decided to do its little thing, you know. Self-production. This is how I did every time I go live, and thank God for every one of you. So, yep, 2 people. One actually was expired. Hold on a second there, one-man band. Let me go look on my email. I think I haven't popped that email up. But let's see. Hold on just a second. Let me get all that. Let's see. No, I haven't got it yet there, brother. Sean G at IamDarkwaters.com, and I'll pop that back in there. Wait a minute. No, I do have it. I do have it. There it is. If it's from Tiger, there, I do have it. Roids, what's up, man? I ain't heard from you in a coon's age, brother. Man, you missed a few callers. Happy, I appreciate you. Now, for the folks that I gave the wrenches to, if you don't want the wrenches, you just hand them right, or just tell me and I'll remove them, and that's that. But I appreciate you if you do. If I did pick you to do the wrenches, I appreciate you, each and every one of you. And actually, I think, Roids, I think I'm going to hand you a wrench over there. Who knows? I don't know. But, anyway, folks, this was my first real, honest-to-God live stream over on my Chasing the Truth, Sean G. Chasing the Truth channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you loved it. You know, that's kind of stuff. Now, to do is just, share it out. If you listen to a few seconds of it, that's fine. That's support enough. But holy cow, 22 likes. I think the current viewers is 20 from my dashboard here. Jean Paul, salute, brother. Appreciate you popping in there. And I was just let's see, you have to give it some time for them to scan all the data email. Yeah, that's true. It has to go through all these data centers that scans it and says, well, we're going to tuck this away or flag it or whatever AI system pops up and does that. I absolutely believe every syllable that I have uttered since I popped on here is probably squirreled away somewhere in a data center somewhere, but you never know. Beating myself in the head with my wrench. Go for it, buddy. There you go. But I told Terry before I got on here, I'll only be on here about a half hour, give or take. I didn't really expect anybody to. I might have expected one call, but gee whiz, I think I'm up to 4 or 5 right now. Now, one right after another. That last call with Robbie, 1971. Robbie, there you go. Robbie, right there. So that's it. Band one. It was the Robbie that was on just a minute ago. But as I was winding down to say, hey, good night, good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the Chasing Truth Dark Waters YouTube. Same place, same back town. As I'm saying before, thank you all that have subscribed or will subscribe if you listen to this one. I'm definitely going to be giving a lot more stuff over here. Expect to see more videos. Not necessarily of this type, but yeah, I'll be doing some videos exactly like I'm doing right now. And holy cow, all I can tell you is, actually, I was hoping for a jackwagon to call in and start doing their little thing. I would have loved to have messed with them. But, how that is one of the fun things that that other people kind of shy away from. Unscreened. Live calls is what you just got for the past hour and a half. Now, ask each and every one of those folks if they're in the chat. Robbie, did you hear anybody but me answer that phone call? Oh, wait a minute. There was somebody just called in and I missed it. I apologize. If you call in right here the next minute or two from the 614 area code, I know Terry said don't say area codes, but hey, if you want to call right back in, I'll answer it. I just did not see it pop up. I'll have to make sure I get that over. I'm not paying attention to that particular screen because I'm looking at chat on another screen. I'll have to look and make sure that happens, that occurs. But, yeah, there you go. Anyway, give about 2 more minutes left for this last caller to call in or recall, however you want to do it, if you want to call in. But I'm actually a little disappointed I didn't have somebody start some shit on a live call, but you never know. But usually what happens is how I got this set up, there's no call waiting on this line, and you just get there, Oh, wait a minute, here we go. Hello, this is Chasing the Truth. Who do I have on board, and where are you from?
It's me, Dragon.
Wow, Dragon buddy. Am I about ready to, is my equipment going to go down or what? Not the last time, but the time before, everything just went tits up.
Yeah. And then, it was 2 times ago. It was it was 2 times ago.
Oh, man. Yeah. You sound like you're a good voice. Are you feeling pretty good?
Said thank you to us, but I was calling to say thank you to you for letting us call in and letting people spill their guts. But it's great. It's, like somebody commented, it's like Art Bell all over again.
Well, I I'm not going to say hate. I appreciate that people, think that that's liking back to Art Bell, but that's the way I'm putting it. I don't have that special equipment to, have the 3-second delay or whatever to get rid of the jackwagons before they get off the here. But, I'm prepared for these jackwagons to pop up. And it might be that fun. The last time I had a jackwagon call in, I tried to call them back, but they never answered for whatever reason. But anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyway,
I figured I'd call in and tell you the little story that I put on, was that text I was talking about in chat or said, I think I texted it to you about the gas station.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was about a couple days. It was before the last time. And it was a while back ago, in fact. And I'd gone to the gas station at the top of the street, get gas and stuff. And I pull in, and there was a young lady on the other side of me, pumping gas. And a guy pulls in a truck behind her, gets out, and starts walking over to the station, pay for the pump. And as he walks by me, I look at him, and there's no shadow because it's pretty close to evening, so there wasn't no shadows being kept. But I could clearly see somebody walking behind me. It looked like a baseball hat. And the lady looks around the corner and goes, "Do you see that?" I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "He doesn't have a hat on." I said, "No." And she got quiet, and then she looked at me again and goes, "You see shit too?" And I said, "Yeah." I didn't really say yeah. I just kind of looked at her and smiled. And she went back around and put the pump away and hooked the pump back up. And she looked around again and she goes, "I'm not going in. I was going to go in and get a pop, but I don't think I'm going to follow him in." I go, "Yeah, I was going to go in and get me a pack of smokes, but I think I'm going to pass." But yeah, it was pretty freaky because I saw him and then she said she saw him. But the weird thing was she looked more surprised than I did, which was really weird because she was like, she must see it too, because she, definitely said, you see stuff. But it was just the way she acted, like this was maybe she just started seeing stuff, or she'd been seeing it, but that surprised her because she probably never. It's weird because I don't see them. Sometimes I don't see stuff like that for a month or two, and every so often happens because it wouldn't. But I would say it was last Monday. I was up at the Kroger's and coming out of Kroger's, and I was watching a young man putting his groceries in his trunk, and there was this little tiny shadow standing beside him. And I kept looking for a kid. Maybe I was just seeing a shadow of a kid. So when I came around, I'm like, I looked at him, and he kind of looked at me kind of funny. He goes, "What are you looking at?" I finally said, sometimes I don't say anything, sometimes I say something. And I said, "Do you know you have something following you?" He goes, "I think it's my little brother. He passed about a week ago." Oh. And I go, "Really?" And he proceeded to tell me that, weird stuff has, since they, put him to rest, that all kinds of weird shit's been happening in the house. And I said, I'm glad you think that. Just be careful, because sometimes things tend to fool you into thinking that. So, you might want to tell him to move on and see if that helps, because he shouldn't hang around. And he goes, "Okay, I'll try." And he left. But see, that's the thing. I always see everybody else's stuff. A lot of times I've gotten to the point where I don't even say anything. But that was just strange. Those two in a week. Yeah, it was just strange because I think he knew just by the way I looked at him and kept looking down that I was watching something, because it stayed right beside me. So they must have been close. I didn't get into details. I didn't want to, upset him. So, because it's always hard to lose a little brother or, a family member. So I just told him have a good day. I said, just be careful. Because sometimes that's how they pray. They know there's a weakness. So they use something to get to you. And a lot of times it's usually somebody that's passed. But sometimes you get lucky and it is the person there. Now, if this child died unexpectedly, because I didn't ask how he died, there's a big chance that child's with him, his brother's with him, and is just confused on what to do.
Yeah, but
see, I don't talk to them. I just see them.
You just see them. You don't talk.
I try not to talk to them. I really do try not to talk to them because it's really not a good thing. And because you never know what you're really talking to. That's why I don't really call ghosts ghosts until I really can figure out what it is. I call everything entities, because then once I discover what it is, then I'll call it by what it is. Sometimes I see, just glimpses. So I have to call it an entity because I didn't see it long enough to make a judgment call. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. So here's a theory. Miss T, Terry, and I have been talking about this house in particular. And about, why do I get, on certain nights when I do my live shows and do call-ins and stuff, shit happens in this house. It was like...
That's because you talk about it.
I know I talk about it, but do these things, I'm pretty sure it's probably attracted by the conversations I'm having across the airways around the world, but also is it that where I had my near-death experience? Now, this is where...
I think it's both.
Am I lit up like a lighthouse and saying something that's passing by, say, well, what's that glowing over there? Let's go over here and see what this is about.
It's probably a little bit of both. Most people that have near-death experiences usually do have something like this happen afterwards, so they're able to see things. Some people manage to have visions. Some people see the dead. Some people see other things. So, it's all an inflection of the person, is what I always thought. What is that person? What is that person about? Sometimes I think after a near-death experience, it's how the person reacts afterwards that triggers everything. If they take it calmly, then okay, you can take this calmly. What about this? Can you, if I show him this, is he going to be okay with it? It's kind of, but yeah, that's the way I look at it.
All right.
Because every story I've heard is pretty much the same. But I would say in your case, yeah, it's a little bit of both, because you've opened yourself up to it. You're willing to talk about it, and that you are kind of a beacon. There is a beacon there when you come back.
True enough. I did experience paranormal prior to the near-death experience. I had seen plenty of stuff. Seen crap walking down the hallway when I was a little kid, and been told by my father, there's nothing in there in here at all. And then, later on, I probably told this story on my other show over on the Dark Waters channel. And later on, after we moved out of that trailer court, where this trailer court was nestled between two big, huge cemeteries. Well, it was one big, huge one, but it was, kind of connected by a pathway. But, two sides of this thing was surrounded by it, this cemetery. And, there was times I saw crap, heard stuff, seen this thing just walk down the damn hallway, and I'd scream out, Mom, Dad, what's going on? This is when I was probably about 5, 6, maybe, something like that. Nothing's going on, son. Go back to sleep. Nothing's in here.
That's the same stuff I heard when I saw stuff.
Yeah, and a few years later, we moved out of that particular trailer court where we were, and Dad pulled up in this little grocery lot. I could take you right to just about the spot where he had that conversation with us in this green Nova. Turned around. I wasn't going to tell you this until we moved out there, but I saw this thing walking down the hallway one night, and I honestly do remember him screaming out, "Who the hell are you?" and then leaving for a little while. I do remember that. I distinctly remember that. And all I can remember was just having this innate, I'm going to choke the living crap out of you because you told me nothing was in there.
See, that's like my dad. Now, my dad, he lived down in the hills of Chillicothe. He ran all along the Thompson Mountains, the areas where the grassman's at. UFO sightings have been seen down there because it's also all in the areas of all the Indian mounds and Serpent Mound and Mound Cities all around in that area. And he says he's never seen anything in his entire life. I always laugh because I say, because it probably saw you first.
Oh, yeah.
But the other, it was about a month or two ago, we would sit on the front porch, and we live near an airport, like a OSU airport. OSU, Ohio State University Airport, is just a little northeast of us. And so we see all of them doing their runs in their little biplanes and stuff, they're teaching and stuff. But every so often, a few private jets will go in there and land. Well, we're also real close to the Columbus Airport, so we see a lot of air traffic. And we were watching a jet come out of the north. It was coming from the east heading west. And all of a sudden, I said, Dad, look. And it looked like a whiter orb was coming up on the jet from the north, coming from north to south. And the jet's coming, it's coming, that jet. I go, Dad, do you see that? He goes, yeah. And just as it got above the jet, it did a 90-degree angle and took off west. Like, boom, it was gone. And I think that's the first time I think he's actually will admit of seeing something.
Wow.
But see, when it comes to UFOs, I always see stuff from the distance. I don't have the best eyes anyway. So it's like, it's usually like Tic Tacs. I've seen Tic Tac. I've seen a cigar. Now, I've seen a cigar-shaped one up along Lake Erie, along the Marblehead Lighthouse. That's just north. It's on the west side of Lake Erie. You could see actually Cedar Point from the lighthouse. And we saw a big old Mean X, and she still talks about it today. We watched it just kind of glide across the top of the lake, and this was probably because we had a campsite right on that area. So you could, from our camp, we could look out over the lake, and we watched this thing. At first, we thought it was a boat, and we literally just watched it glide going north on the lake. And it was probably maybe 100 feet off the lake, so it was real low. But it just kind of moved real fast across, and she goes, "Do you see that?" And I said, "Yeah." And what was it? And I go, at first I thought it was a boat, and she goes, "Yeah, I did too, but the lights on it were not like real bright, but it was like one white light along the side of it. And it just kind of hovered across the water and was gone." And she goes, "That's when there's hovercrafts." I don't think they run that late.
Wow.
But, I don't see a whole lot of that stuff. When I do see it, it's pretty fast, but like most people. And see, that's when there was no cell phone. And see, I'm not one of these guys that everybody yells at me, "You see all this stuff and you never carry your cell phone." The problem with me carrying a cell phone is every time I try to take a picture of stuff, it never comes out. Then I feel like a fool.
Well, there's technology with these new cell phones and smartphones and stuff. There's technology that, if you take your phone into a concert, they can send out a signal, and you can't take video of anything. That's it.
Oh, I know. Well, I didn't know this, but like in Targets, you know why you use Wi-Fi in Target? Because they want you to use their Wi-Fi. So if you ever walk into Target, go in, check your Wi-Fi before you go in. Then when you go through the doors, check it again. I bet you don't have no Wi-Fi. But as soon as you walk out that door, you have Wi-Fi.
Well, VPNs, baby, is all I can tell you. I got a VPN on everything. As soon as I get out, VPN goes up.
And force you to use theirs. I don't know if you could use a VPN in that situation, because I actually think they cut you off from outside Wi-Fi, and the only Wi-Fi in the store you get, I believe, is their Wi-Fi. If I believe how it's working. And I could be wrong.
Could be wrong. I don't know. I know, like, when I go do my grocery runs, I'm out sitting in the parking lot waiting for the delivery. And this is not a PSA for the service, but I do get the Wi-Fi from there, and I pop my VPN on there. And it works. It certainly does. Certainly does.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it does. I use mine. I do get on the deep web. And the deep dark web is so scary. If I go on and looking for information, I don't go in. When you look for the scary stuff, you'll find it. But believe me, don't go looking for it. It's not good. There is some bad stuff on it. But if you go to the right places, like I pull up I like to read. There's a lot of UFO stuff on there from other countries.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of cryptid stuff on there from other countries that don't get released here, or doesn't, you have to, they kind of sneak it through the deep web to get stories out. I like to read the political stuff, because a lot of stuff is leaked through that too. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. Data is for whatever they can get out of data. Data is today's, dollar bill. I can make money off this data. No matter what you're doing, I can make, track your ass all over creation. I'll make some money off of it.
Well, it's like now people are having problems. They made those little tracker chips that you can put it with your phone or with your wallet.
Yeah.
Or put it in your car. Or now people are finding, women are leaving the bars and they're finding them in their purse. So somebody's tracking them. Some guy's putting those and they're dropping them in their purse and then they're tracking them. I've heard like 10 different stories about this now, where they're using those little tracker key things to track prey, as one may say.
Yeah, that's true. They're so small now. Yeah, I know. Like Apple came out with one that's a little bit bigger than a quarter. And
that's the one they're finding in the girls' purses. The girls are finding them in their purses. I guess some guys have found them. I heard that there was a store clerk that had found one behind the register. I don't know why. Somebody left it behind the register. I don't know what they were trying to do. Who they were trying to track? They track the register.
Right.
But yeah, I'm hearing all kinds of weird crap about these trackers now that they've released. That you can put with you're supposed to put with your phone or with your car. That way you know where it goes if somebody steals it. But now people are using it on people.
Gee, well, yeah, that's the scary thing. The technology out there is put out with quote unquote the best intentions, but what could you do with that piece of equipment? Just like these little GPS tracker, quarter size thing.
Yeah.
Pop it in. Next thing you know, you got every sleazy son of a bitch out there on your back door looking at you.
Right. And it's like the 73 Powell just said on there, and you got to watch VPNs too because they're not as secure as a lot of people think they are. They get a government offers them a certain amount of money, they can open those up, and those too sweet. So yeah, they're not as secure as everybody thinks they are.
All right. True enough. Christina H asks, so is there an app to help detect one of those trackers in our purse or car?
I don't know if there is.
I'd say you could probably find some sort of RF signal thing.
Tracker,
RF stuff. So,
you could probably use an EMF reader because it puts out an EMF.
Right. Electromagnetic.
All things put on the field. So if you had one and you put it over your person at a beach, I'm sure that means there might be something in there.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I would. I'm definitely going to have to look into that. Christina has a good.
Yeah, it's been weird. I've had a couple stories about stuff like that. There was something else I was going to tell you too, and I forgot what it was. Of a story I'd heard up here about somebody tracking somebody, and I'm going to have to see if I can find it again. But I can give you the gist of it. They were tracking somebody. This guy openly admitted, I think it was his kid, because the kid was booking at night. If I remember the story right, I'll have to go look for it again. He was tracking his son because he thought he had a drug problem. And it turned out the kid was ghost hunting. So he followed him to the graveyard. And it turned out he met a bunch of kids there. And when his dad goes, "What are you guys doing?" He goes, "What are you doing, tracking me?" He goes, "Yeah, I was thinking you were into no good." He goes, "Well, ghost hunting." So he couldn't figure out where his kid was taking off. I guess he was sneaking out of the house like at 10 or 11 o'clock. He wasn't telling him where he was going. And he was getting worried, which is a good dad thing to do. But yeah, it turned out the kid was ghost hunting.
Oh, wow. Oh, I have no doubt that people are, if you give them the ability to track, to listen in, to do whatever, they'll figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was it what? No, it wasn't Wozniak. There was back in the day, back in the 70s, or maybe the early 80s when computers just, back before the Pentium even hit, back when they were measuring megabytes as the key to whatever. The FBI, the ABCs of the world could track what you were typing into your computer by detecting the keystrokes, the electric signals of your keystroke from your computer.
Right.
And,
actually, I watched a buddy of mine hack another person's computer with them not even being home, and he was able. It was another friend of ours. He was just proving he could do it.
Right.
He was able to get in the guy's computer, able to use the mouse, the skew on the mouse and the screen. He was able to get the computer to come on, and he was able to get into it. I'm like, holy crap, how'd you do that? I go, I just sent him an ad. I go, you serious? He goes, yeah, I just sent him an ad. And he was able to know. And then from there on out, he was, until he went over and took it out, the virus or whatever it's out, the malware, whatever it's called, out. He could see every keystroke he was making. And he could see everything he was doing.
Right.
I was pretty amazed. I was like, wow.
No, I've got unfortunately, well, it is an addition to how my lifestyle is where I'm, a wheelchair bound. So I've got everything tied to a digital assistant from Amazon. And it is funky what that damn thing will tell you. In the middle of the night, I'll be talking to Terry on Skype or whatever, and all of a sudden this thing starts rattling off crap. You're like, where the hell did that come from?
See, now, I won't have one of those. I refuse to get one.
Well, it's more of a convenience.
To me, there's something about electronics that just invites thieves. It's just something about something when you start opening up interfaces, it's all connected. See, some people don't realize that all this is connected. We're all connected. Everything is an electric. We're all physically charged by each other, everything.
All right.
And when you start bringing in AI and all this into the mix, you're giving other things a chance to enter it. Because believe it or not, people don't realize a lot more people have hauntings on computers and telephones now than is being heard. You know what I'm saying? There are literally what they call ghosts in machines now.
Right. True enough. You got the people that just had passed make phone calls. That's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. I'll have to sit down and think about this, but there's something in the back of my mind that I actually know a personal story about that. And I'll have to think about that after I get off of this. But I don't think I've told the story to Terry, but I'll have to just sit down and think about it. It may be just one of those phantom things after I've had my near-death experience. So there's so much that has changed from prior to me having a near-death experience. Been in hospital for over 3 months to, getting out here and you're like, well, various things happened and didn't happen. There's things that moved physically. Grave sites and hell, even freaking bushes out in the backyard that just never existed. And this world I'm in right now, prior to that, there was a bunch of, gooseberry bushes. I remember eating those things. And they're great when they're ripe, but you grab a hold of one and pop in your mouth. That's the sourest, tartest thing that you ever. But I remember playing croquet around those damn things. And I asked somebody one day, I said, hey, where's those gooseberry bushes that are out in the backyard? What gooseberry bushes? There's never any gooseberry bushes back there. I was like, yeah, there were. We played croquet around them.
See, now that sounds like, what do you call that? The Mandela effect? Like you went through some type of Mandela effect after your near death.
I can't put my finger on it, but I have robust, distinct memories of those gooseberry bushes, and apparently they never existed here.
Now, see, after mine, I've had the same thing happen. A couple of weeks later, I don't feel like things are the same. Something's changed.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's just the event itself that does that to you, or actually something does change. You know, it's like everybody goes, "Oh, it's a glitch in the matrix." I actually heard somebody say, "No, it's just God making corrections."
That's right. That's true. God can do anything. That's the strangest thing. This is God's world, is not ours. This is God's existence. We may be able to flip a button and turn a light on or whatever, but God allows that to happen. You know, that's kind of hard to explain to people that don't believe that, but it's true.
Yeah.
We're just here for glorified riding lessons. That's about it.
You know, it's like, I don't know. It was a year or two ago when that meteor is heading toward Russia, and it exploded in midair. Then everybody started catching later after reviewing it that it looked like something came along and shot something at it, and it blew it up before. Because you actually see something go through the meteor, and then it explodes before it, because it was going to. They were pretty sure it was going to impact.
Right.
And all you could see, if you go back, I'm not going to find that footage and send it to you, but it's a meteor coming down, and they show it in slow motion. Then you see this, it looks like a Tic Tac, goes right straight through the meteor and explodes.
Wow, you'll have to send it to me on
I had to
Discord.
watch it like 3 times to catch it, and I'm like, holy cow, they're right.
Yeah.
And somebody goes, "That's just the hand that got a finger of God at his work." Is what the reply I got when I showed the video. Somebody goes, "Yeah, it's just finger of God at work."
True
It
enough.
wasn't time yet.
True enough. But, yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Dragon.
Oh, yeah, I'll let you go. Let some other people go. We talked for what, 20 minutes? So.
Yeah, heck, any kind. This is exactly why I like open lines. You never know who's going to call. You never know what story's going to come across. And Royds, I saw that you called, buddy.
I'll call if I'm up to it.
Yeah, well, if you feel like it, brother, you're welcome anytime. As long as I'm on, you're welcome to call. All right.
Oh, yeah. Especially when it comes to paranormal, because I got my views on that stuff, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Anything paranormal, so have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everybody, and I'll see you in chat. Later.
See you, guy.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Royds, I just saw you pop in, and if you want to call, you certainly can. I haven't talked to you in a while, so let's go for it. If you want to call in, talk, let's go for it. But, holy cow. This turned out to be a full-fledged 2-hour iteration of Chasing the Truth. Now, that being said, thank you for every last one of you that has listened, even for a few seconds said, well, I don't want to hear this thing, and popped off. If you pop back on and see why this thing lasted for 2 hours and you kept back, thank you for coming back. Thank you for the subscriptions. I saw a couple, 3 or 4 subscriptions pop up during this show. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone that has called in. It is crazy. You know, I was floored, literally floored with one man band's conversation. Oh, here we go. Here's Royds right here. Hey, Royds, what's going on, man? Hold on a second. Let me make sure. I think I might have. Give me just a second. I might have you muted on this end. Let's see. No? I don't know what's going on here. Crap, man. Let me call you right back, Royds. I got you on the wrong computer, and it's not taking it. I'll call you right back, brother. Let's see. Let's call him over here. And Royds right here. I'll call you right back, brother. Sorry about that. I'll give him a call. Actually, I was going to play a trick on him. I had him on my other MacBook to do some crap to his voice. But, yeah, there you go. Royds, what's up, brother?
Hey, Sean, how you doing?
Doing all right. Trying to stretch my legs over here in my new channel. Well, sort of new channel. But
I've been following you for many months now. You know, I've never seen you ever did anything live like this before on your channel. This is great.
Well, I did one way back a couple years ago. Whenever I did pop this thing on and make it go live, I did one, and Jack Wagon called in, and this was before I actually got to know how to handle those little fuckers that call in and try to mess up a stream or whatever. But I actually like talking to those people. You're like, okay, why did you call in? Wes just sent me. Well, Wes, you do whatever you want to. Sent me a text message, wants to know if he can call in after Royd's calls or later or whatever. Buddy, you can call anytime. You know my number. You know both of them, actually. But you know how to get in touch with me. So what's going on with the meat packing industry?
Oh, my goodness. It's been, well, we're on backup servers right now. I don't even know. I'm not up in corporate levels, but they haven't told me whether they actually paid off the hackers or not. Like, what was the pipeline that went down? What's the name? I can't remember.
Oh, the one that made the prices skyrocket and everybody went on emergency.
Yeah, that was, I looked it up, with what, what's his name here, real quick, scroll up here. Sorry, Sean.
That's all right. Go right ahead.
J.L. Powell, 73. He said it was jet fuel, and I actually did my research on it, and it was jet fuel. It wasn't actually gasoline for your vehicles. But yet, gas prices still went up. But I don't think they paid the hackers or anything. They wanted over 100-something million to release it, but we went on backup servers. I'm sure they have other servers lined up for it. But we're shipping a lot. I'm just saying we're shipping a lot to China.
No.
Like I swear, at least on day shift that I work, 50% of our product is labeled for Chinese. Colonial Pipeline. Thank you.
Colonial Pipeline. Yeah, there you go. Colonial Pipeline. Happy comes through with the information right there. He's Johnny on the spot.
Yep. It's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but we're shipping. But the issue that we're having now, though, Sean, that people need to be aware of, and it's not fear mongering. This is true. I see everything everywhere else. People are talking about shipping and delivering product. We are so delayed on drivers, so we can't ship. We can't load trailers because we have no drivers to pick up. We have no trailers to actually load. We have no drivers to pick up the actual trailers we have that are loaded. So I don't know why there's such a shortage of CDL drivers. So product like JBS ships like 50%, if not more, over the country for beef, pork, and poultry too. Your protein product is going to skyrocket. If you guys haven't noticed it in the stores. So shipping worldwide gets crazy.
Well, with Biden doing all this crazy stuff with shutting down the pipelines, he literally, as soon as he walked through the door after he became president, he axed thousands of jobs, oil production jobs, right then and there. And then later on, he axed some more. And then he just, what was the price of gasoline before Biden came in office, and look at what it is now.
Well, in Utah, I was paying maybe just a little over $20 or $2 a gallon, and now I'm paying close to $4 a gallon.
I think it's close to $3 around here. Maybe just a hair under $3, $2.90 and some pennies. I haven't been out and about to look at the gas prices lately, but good God. And then all the crazy stuff that's going on with social media, and it's just insane. People they are livid. The ones that actually think that they're, can share their own thoughts. They can't. They can't share their own thoughts. They can't say, hey, I like this or I like that. God forbid if you call somebody something other than what they think they are. So, that being said, go ahead. I'll get off my soapbox there.
Oh no, I can go on with that one. I can run my mouth. I have a friend that was in Florida, and he was paying four or five something a gallon, and then he went out to California. He's paying close. I got to look at his text now. It's like close to $7 or $8 a gallon out in California. Can you imagine?
Oh wow! Yeah,
What happens when you go to a communist state.
Yeah, it's going to get up there. Now, the other thing is as prices are going up, and we are literally, he cut the tits off the boar hog on the oil production within the United States, and handed it over to whom? Who is now making money hand over fist? That's the problem right there. And who pays $500,000 for a fucking painting that a 4-year-old could do? I don't know.
Follow the money.
Follow.
But the reason why I called in though, Sean, is because I'm just very curious. And then when you go live tomorrow, hopefully I can make it to your live show. I've been busy over here, and I thank Miss T for praying for me, because it's been quite a rough ride this whole freaking year. But has anyone noticed street lamps changing from the normal street lamps to actually like glow in the dark, like fluorescent lights, to the point like a dark light?
Like a black light, or is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a black light. There you go. Thank you. Black light, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. The lamps that I'm aware of are the ones around this street, and they ain't changed since I can remember. But anybody in the chat recognize what Royd's talking about, that the street lamps are changing over to a different frequency of light?
They say that those who've been vaccinated with Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, or Pfizer, or whatever, that their veins are glowing under the black light, and so you have street lights that are positioned, and people are starting to post this stuff all over the web. And so I just wanted to see, maybe you can actually talk about that tomorrow on
sure
on Dark Waters when you do Chasing the Truth.
I'll do that. Hold on a second. Where's my pen? All right, well, let me make a note. I've got a little note maker right here on my thing. Black lights.
You have people that apparently they're magnetic. They can like take magnets, post it on their skin, or like spoons and forks. I don't know if anyone's ever seen those type of videos before.
Christina says yes, purple lights. I thought it was a joke, is what she referred to as. But yeah, I'll have to pay attention next time. I'll look around the neighborhood here and see if I can find anything out. But yeah,
I tried the magnetic, like taking a fork and try to put it, or like a spoon or something, anything magnetic, or like a paper clip on my coworker. She got vaccinated, and it didn't stick to them, at least at that point. But they say that whatever they put in those jabs, it can actually self-reproduce. So.
Wow. Well, Royds, it's fantastic to hear from you. It's been a while since you actually called in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you taking my call, Sean.
I appreciate Go ahead.
Can you post down in your description, because I want to donate to you, your PayPal or whatever else you got, your Cash App?
Yeah, I got it's on the screen over there. I know that you actually asked me one time, hey, I'd like to donate to you, and I said, no, I better not. But, God has put it on me that, hey, you need to expand, you need to do this. And the only way you're going to do that is, accept that kind of, donations, if you will. So it's, I've got the little thing down in a doobly-doo, the description of my show here, I think. If not, I'll put it down there at the show.
Yeah, I'll just do that for me in the description, because I'll tell you, even though I know you're a good man, truly, anyone that's listening, you're a good man. You don't want to accept people's money and stuff, but you're doing God's work. You really are. You're opening a lot of people's eyes, and I appreciate everything you've done.
Yeah.
Really. So if I can help out a little bit what I can, I'll donate to you to help you out. So
I appreciate that. Now, you actually had COVID, right? Good. You actually had COVID.
Yeah. I did, yep.
How long did it take you to get over that? And obviously you're alive.
My brother tested positive in the summer, so they quarantined me with him. This was back in 2020. It's like the tail end of May, and so I got free vacation for a week. But I lied about my symptoms, because neither of us had symptoms on the whole fake COVID shit. But I got paid for it, So I walked away with the whole free week of vacation. I did hiking, I did fishing, and I felt fine. Come November, though, I got sick, and I felt like the wheels were taken out from underneath me. And I called in. They made me go in there and do a spit test. It wasn't like to jam the straw or like the Q-tip up your nose, you know.
Yeah, and big for
so I had. Yeah, and people are saying that they have like nanobots and different things like that on it. Who knows? But it felt like the flu, but it was different because everything I tasted was salty.
Really?
So I don't know if it was from everything was salty. Like nothing had. I lost the taste. Never really lost my smell. My smell, I still smelled the same, but everything tasted different. It was all salty. It's like almost eating like a penny. But whatever it was, it took the wheels out from underneath me, and I was literally laying in bed, and I slept for like about 4 to 5 days straight. You know, had no energy to do anything.
Wow.
But it felt like the flu. But usually you get over the flu quicker than that. But I wonder if it was 5G or whatever else spraying over our heads, you know? Because you got all these chemtrails, you got all these different chemicals that they're spraying.
Right.
So I don't buy into the whole COVID stuff. I'm sorry, I don't.
Well, now you can actually talk about COVID was possibly from a Wuhan lab. Now, before that, you probably got, thank God that that's not flagged my channel and popped me off. Now, you remember when we talked about that before all this COVID crap happened, and it literally just took me off everything except for Skype.
Well, when we were talking back in, I don't know how long ago that was, Sean, when we were talking about it, you started having all sorts of technical difficulties.
Yep.
You know?
Yep,
and on top of that was the political side of it too, but when you start talking about COVID, boy, they targeted you. It was, but yeah, now they're starting to investigate it, and thanks for Ron Paul, you know, who's actually standing up to Dr. Fauci, that rat, you know. He's heavily invested in Moderna. He has a lot of investments into Moderna. He's making I don't know how many millions of dollars off that company. I have a coworker who invested in Moderna at like $30-something, and now it's up to like I have to look it up, but he's up like $30,000 on that one. Of course, he did not invest like Dr. Fauci did. And this is the guy that's telling you to take the jab, you know, and wear your mask and do this and do that.
It is what it is, brother. But Royds, I appreciate you, brother, and I'll definitely make sure that the links to the donations is in the descriptions if you feel so forthcoming.
No, I'm going to send you a donation right now, Sean, and I took a screenshot of it in case you don't do it. This way you're forced to take it. So I appreciate you, though. And then you, Miss T, and Dragon DW, and Happy, JL, Pal. You guys are good people.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening to me.
Fantastic.
I know I ramble. I appreciate it.
Hey, rambling is what half of these shows are about. And these unscreened open lines. Did you talk to anybody before you popped on here? Well, actually, I called you, but have you ever found anybody besides me on the other end of this line when you called in?
No. You're it. You're legit, Sean.
All right, brother.
What you see, what you hear is what you get, you know? Really.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, Royds. I'll talk to you later, and keep her straight.
Yep, will do. You do the same. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks. All right. So what do you think about this 30-minute this 30-minute show that has turned into, wait a minute, I've got a couple of counters here. Where is this one? 2 hours, 19 minutes. 30 minutes turned into 2 hours, 19 minutes for open lines. Now, folks, this is Unscreened Open Lines, and this is the format that if you know of anybody else besides maybe one other radio show host that's no longer on the air, from what I understand. Do you know anybody else that does that? That being said, I am done with this show. Thank you, folks, for subscribing. Thank you. Thank you for the folks that have donated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And from the bottom of my heart, God bless every one of you. And may Jesus Christ protect each and every one of the people that listen to this show, participate in this show, from everything that is negative, everything that is demonic, satanic, out to ruin the souls of man. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. May y'all have a blessed day. And I'll be back tomorrow night over on another channel, Dark Waters channel. Same time, same back channel that I usually am on Saturday nights. Now, that being said, folks, I am going to be back on this channel again. Sean G at Chasing Truth. Expect to see some changes. Expect to see new stuff. Not just live shows with unscreened phone lines. And holy cow, good God, thank you for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and from the people that care the most about me. Terry, the love of my life, she gives you thanks. Thaddeus Cray, J.L. Powell, Happy, Wes. Oh, Lord, Miss T, definitely. But, folks, this has been a 30-minute show that literally turned out 2 hours plus. 2 hours, 21 minutes as of right now. So, tomorrow night, come join me over on Dark Waters channel, and we'll do this all over again and see what else you can get to call in on open lines, unscreened open lines. Now, tell your folks, tell anybody out there that, hey, there's a new open lines, unscreened open lines. Hand out the number, 931-994-6917, and be surprised when you hear this country voice, hey, you're on the air. But, yeah, there you go, folks. Appreciate every one of you. And I think I am done for tonight. Go to IamDarkWaters.com, DogmanCams.com. Let's see, soon, ChasingTheTruth.com, but it is not up, so don't go looking for it. It's not up yet. Let's see, what else? UPRNTalkRadio.com. Go over there. There's fantastic people that come up and do all kinds of crazy stuff just like I do, but I don't think they do open lines at all over there on any one of them other than me. So there you go. And I'm out of here. If you want to reach out to me, the number is 931-994-6917. Sean G at IamDarkWaters.com. And I'm out of here.
Do ghosts really exist? Are we alone? Is there life after death?
Sorry, Wes. I'm done, buddy. Apologize for that. Wait. I gotta address this real quick, and we'll finish this out. Where is that frickin' thing? All right. Wes, I apologize. I hung up on you. I am done for the night, and let's do this tomorrow night, Wes, okay? Appreciate you. So, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow night, 7 to 9 p.m. over on the Dark Waters channel.
Sean, what's up there, Iowa?
And I'm sorry again, Wes. I am done. I'm going to hang up. So, here we go. End and stream. Ha, 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 ha. DLP, appreciate you, brother. And I'm gone.